compLexity were tossing walls down everywhere in game number 1.
Who's more vigilant about buying observer wards? Because both teams have more.
compLexity, I think.
They're more vigilant?
Yeah, I think Escape normally have like really nicely placed wards, which always like flag in my mind, but I think compLexity are a lot more vigilant with it.
I'm going with Escape this game because I think they'll have more of the map open to them, and they're more likely to place more wards because of that.
The amount of blink daggers, well, by 25. Bat potentially, Zven?
I'm going with 0 to 2.
Yeah, 0 to 2 seems like the best odds for that one.
Most D wards by 15 minutes. Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not easy.
Yeah.
Is someone going to buy a gem this game? Kezu could buy a gem.
But it's by 15 minutes. You're not going to have a gem
okay.
before 15 minutes, so...
Quick, let's see who has sentries on them.
I'm going to back Z-Freak.
Yeah, Yapzor has sentries, so I'm going with Yapzor.
You're going to go with Yapzor? Okay. Total number of deaths by 10 minutes. This could actually be quite an aggressive game early on.
I'm going with 0 to 5.
I'm going to have confidence and go 6 to 10.
Okay. Great, Toby.
Primarily because I want to have bloodshed in my game of Dota. I don't ask much.
So the only thing we had the same was 0 to 2?
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay.
The challenge is on. That's right. I should probably learn to trust you more. You're the expert.
I got 3 last time.
I don't know how
we
many
both were way wrong on Escape winning.
Yeah, well, it could have easily been Escape's game as well.
It's okay. I know you're biased. You want your old co-caster back.
Chaz, can I get a change, please? Can we eliminate Escape during the wildcard? So
or maybe
I don't have to cast with Malini anymore.
Maybe you're rooting for compLexity because you want your old co-caster back.
My what caster?
Your old co-caster. Do you want it? Are you favoring Synderen because you like Synderen, or are you favoring compLexity?
Oh, I have I'm from the old school era of like when Synderen would play instead of casting. It was all about cheering for Synderen to die. This was just something which had to happen because you always wish the worst on your co-casters when they play games.
Wow.
That's why I like to cast veggies.
I never want to be your friend. You will wish ill will upon me.
Do not be a friend. Just be a co-caster. All right, so we've got an aggro lane coming out with Synderen, Yapzor, and Era teaming up together on this top. So it's the Yapzor roaming Mirana, Chessie with a safe lane Zven, Hanskin, and Z-Freak. This is going to make a very easy time for Kezu, considering Swindles abandoned the bottom lane straight off. Synderen, you're really, really low. He actually doesn't have Shallow Grave. Okay, now he actually levels up the heal with that damage. Hanskin's going to drop down. Z-Freak was looking for the first blood. Now he'll find Synderen, but it was all a little too late. He'll get one more attack in. It's still not enough. The Storm Bolt from Chessie will find the kill. But Z-Freak, he needs 3 seconds for Rolling Boulder. Ear into the tree lines, the double kick. That'll buy him the seconds to roll out the arrow. Barely missing from Yapzor as the boulder was going out. And that'll be a 1-for-1 trade-off in this aggro lane.
I regret my total number of player deaths by 10. I should have looked at the aggro lane before, but this is a pretty interesting choice because they do not actually have a setup for the Mirana stun, unless you want a max poison touch, which Dazzle has not made any move to put points in there. So they're having a lot of faith onto this Mirana to hit her arrows. But
it's Yapzor, man. Like, I would have faith in Yapzor to hit these things. And you've still got your other lanes. Like, if you can get Koi for a good entangle over on the Timbersaw, then he's got some good rotation options to work with. And they're finally going to move in nice and early to try and score around with Swindle. Swindle's got 3 levels in 2.5 minutes. But they put down a ward, blocks up one of his camps, so a lot harder to stack and move.
He doesn't need a stack and move, though.
Z-Freak?
No,
No. Z-Freak was because he was just sniffing an arrow as it flew past his nostrils.
Yeah, Swindles is just getting mana burned down by Kezu. Kezu doesn't have any clarities, but once he gets Arcane Boots, it's going to be a lot more difficult.
They're going in again. Chessie Stormbolt over on Synderen. Yapzor can't really help out. Flies out the arrow, but Chessie running away from Era. The spin damage is nice. And Chessie dropping down low. Can Era? Oh, he's hoping for a crit, but just can't get one. The attack from the arrow is not enough. Maybe with the second one, still not enough. He had 2 stick charges available. They just came off cooldown, hence the extra life kicked in. And Era, no spin up, but he's still taking the damage from Z-Freak as well as Hanskin. Should be careful when that kinetic field is available from the Disruptor.
And Synderen has to be especially careful with his positioning because they just do not have that much save. An arrow at that close range is only going to stun them for a brief moment, and another arrow misses by YapzOr, and I'm not sure if this lane is paying off too well for them. They are slowing down the Sven, and I actually think it's way better for Escape, like if both heroes are low on farm, because Escape can rely on the lone druid. Like compLexity, are you going to rely on a Timbersaw to carry you through this mid game? I don't think they can. Like he can kind of go crazy in a lot of kills, but I'd be much more scared of a farm lone druid.
Escape are going to rotate anyway, right? Like Nyx Assassin hits level 6 and he wants to go hunting, so you're gonna bring Era down to the bottom lane to find that farm again anyway.
I don't know if they want to bring Kezu though. I think when you have a Nyx with this sort of farm, you're like happy to take it and happy to get those sort of levels. And I think the mid lane should be pretty decent for both sides. Looks like the CS and net worth is fairly even. I guess if you can just blow this top lane wide open with a Nyx rotation, then that would be key.
Here comes the arrow, hits perfectly onto Chessie, Synderen, they group up, there's a Shadow Wave heal, and Era, the damage is enough. Warcry will not protect you. Not enough, at least, from that spin.
YapzOr trying to see Z-Freak.
Swindle's really, really low here. KheZu, in fact, going to go in and just vendettas him underneath the tier 1 tower. Yep. He pushed that one hard. Had a lot of stick charges up his sleeve. That's the reason why KheZu had such sustain going for that kill.
You can't die in that lane.
He obviously did.
No, I mean, like, for the overall game plan, I think they're already like riding a really fine line, and having your Batrider have Iron Talon and be very low on net worth and give up a solo kill to the Nyx Assassin, who is maybe soon going to be doubling up the Batrider's net worth, is just a very ominous early game.
Nice scouting coming out from Quoitfa, using his bear to see if anyone was following. They're really two really great observer wards down from compLexity. They were able to scout out the movement of the Mirana. So there's no surprise arrows, there's no surprise movement. In fact, Z-Freak already pushes YapzOr out. The kick will fly forward, and Synderen, he may have to self-grave himself to try and buy a little bit of time as Chessie Warcries runs out Z-Freak. He's waiting. Okay, the Disruptor will find that kill. Chessie turns for the stun. Era in a little bit of trouble. He's dropped down too low. The healing board is down. compLexity can't reach it yet. Now they will be able to, and Era, he'll pop and give a double kill to Hanskin using the power of lightning.
Chessie's playing very well in this lane. He's had the Observer Ward to scout out the arrow, but then he turns around and then jumps on the right target. He Warcries and kites the Juggernaut, even though the Juggernaut has phase and the added move speed from the leap, and manages to snag yet another kill in that lane.
Oh, so looking great for him, at least for the safe lane, but middle lane Quoitfa is still out CSing the Timbersaw. Obviously, he's not going to be able to really kill the Timbersaw unless Limp overstays his welcome, which is difficult. He's only got 1 point up in chain, so he can't instantly just chain himself out. But we've still got KheZu, whose Vendetta's now come back off cooldown, who hasn't done a rotation yet. Like, he got the kill on the Batrider, which is fantastic, but there's been no movement from him since that point. So what are we waiting for KheZu? Like, what's his item that he's looking to farm up by sitting on this bottom lane?
I'm not actually sure, because we don't see Nyx Assassins get free from that often. And I don't think a blink is imperative for him, because the Batrider is not that big of an issue because he already died in lane.
Do you just look for something like a lens instead?
I was thinking maybe lens, but I wouldn't be too opposed for him for going to Greaves, but looks like he's going to go for Midas. We see the early Gluts of Haste pickup, and you can decide later. I think that's also a fine build because you don't want to hold on too much gold early just because you want some net worth on your hero, but with a Midas, it's like, okay, I can switch builds whenever I want.
Easy Vendetta hit, mana burn. The damage won't be enough to kill off Hanskin straight away.
Uh-oh, now
but they still had enough. And
these two heroes are isolated.
Yep. YapzOr's got arrow available too. Chessie going to actually God Strength, Warcry, looking for the damage to kill off Era underneath the tower, which is where Escape will continue to fight. Omni-Slash out, Era, he'll finish it with a spin. There's Synderen with a Shallow Grave. TP's out, Limp, the damage, he actually missed the chain. Remember that 1 point, it's not big enough to reach the tree line. So KZoo will go running out through the west. He may not be able to get out of this one, not with a chakram down, blocking his path. The Spine Carapace keeps Limp in position. He doesn't really have enough mana to go for much more as KZoo makes a break for the trees. He's just trying to dodge the Timber Chain chakram, Whirling Death or anything. Can't do it, however.
He tried to be way too fancy there. All he had to do was turn around Mana Burn, and he would have been okay. Because Timbersaw had no way to chase after that. He could also... yeah, he just needed a Mana Burn, but, you know, kind of panicked in the moment.
Can they glimpse? With that kickback? No, not with the Savage Roar. Koitfer, he realized the only way he could die there was by Hanskin getting a glimpse on him, but it's a level 1 glimpse. So Z-Freak tried to kick Koitfer back in range of Hanskin to get that drag back. It still would have been difficult to kill him. He's still a lone druid.
And his farm has been unhindered. However, KZoo, on the other hand, he was off to a mighty fine start, but it won't be a 9-minute Midas. Looks like it's going to be more of a 10, 11-minute one. About 2 Midases on them just in case things go awry. So as you mentioned before, Juggernaut will be able to recover in the net worth department once he takes over KZoo's lane. And you do want your next assassin moving around, constantly posing to be a threat, but probably... I think compLexity are probably expecting him to farm his Midas at this point.
Yep.
You still have to respect it, though. You have to buy a lot of sentries. You have to have supports set behind cores and supports like not wandering about in the jungle alone. Fortunately for compLexity, they did not lose their top T1 after that engagement.
It's kind of a surprise, but it's not going to last much longer. Like, you got Koitfer still on the field. Like, as long as there's a lone druid hunting.
They need Batrider Blink ASAP. You got it.
I did. 6 to 10. 6 to 10. Literally on the cusp of 10, but it's still 6 to 10. Want to keep my eye closely also on Swindles with his Blink Dagger timing from him to try and find out when compLexity can get aggressive. Like, they got a lineup which can do a lot of damage. It kind of needs to. Like, it needs to create space for Chessie.
Immediate smoke coming out from YapzOr and KZoo. They are coming out from the mid lane. There was an Arcane Rune. There still is one on Mirana, but just about 20 seconds left, and looks like they want to slow down perhaps his Blink Dagger timing. But
they're looking for the Sven. They're looking for the stacks of the Sven. And
they can't do anything about the Sven, I think, because it's more
they can do something with Z-Freak, though. Like, Z-Freak's coming over, and it's right, like, just before the 11-minute mark, when you know there's going to be one support just rotating over there to do the stack.
Sad life.
Read it like a book. And Escape now can, in fact, do a little bit of damage to the bottom tier 1 tower.
And Swindles is like, yeah, that's my ticket to Blink Dagger.
Well, he can have that if he wants it. But then again, top lane, YapzOr gonna fire off from the hedge, hits Chessie. That's a 4-seconder. And KZoo looking for the extra stun. They're gonna glimpse, in fact, KZoo all the way out. The wall is up, but Synderen, Poison Touch, slowing down Chessie. Still taking too much damage from the tower. There's no more Starfall, but the Shadow Wave from Synderen. That'll be just enough damage to get the kill over on this Ven. That is now his 3rd death of the game. And Koitfer just has all the freedom in the world to attack into the mid. Swindles, like, you want your Blink Dagger, but you don't want to die here. If he gets entangled, like, KZoo's rotating over, he can just fight Carapace, gets a guaranteed follow-up stun. This is what makes Nick so good against a Batrider. With the Vendetta attack, he's almost down 60 HP. Swindles will survive. He'll turn around looking to beat down the bear, but then the bear, nope, obviously Koitfer out of range. The bear can't attack him. So Swindles TP's out. They hold their tier 1 tower in the mid, and Swindles gets his Blink Dagger without dying.
It's time. It's time for the smokes. Let's see what damage they can do. Koitfer is very close to his relic. Just about 2 or 3 minutes more of farming, and he is the priority target. Juggernaut, still kind of unfarmed. I guess you could cripple him at this point if you did lasso him, but I personally think the Radiance timing is a little bit more important. Let's see what compLexity think.
Yeah, it really has to be there, but it's if you catch Koitfer. Like, Koitfer is one of these guys too. Like, if he has a rough lane, even if he has a good lane, he'll still disappear around the 10 to 20 minute mark, and he'll be inside of his jungle. He'll get his good item timing, and then he'll come out and fight. So if you're going to try and catch Koitfer out, you got to go deep. You got to have deep vision as well. But right now, vision-wise for compLexity, they have 1 obs on the map, and that's up on the top lane. Bottom lane is where they initiate. They find Era, so they put the Blink Dagger to use. They'll shut down the Juggernaut a little bit more. But as you said, is this really going to make a big difference to Escape's timing?
Escape actually expected the gank on Koitfer. They had the scan onto their own jungle. The timing was a little bit off, but they thought that compLexity were like 30 seconds or 40 seconds ahead, and we're already in their jungle. So I think Era's like, I'm really not worth it, but when you take a tower out of it, I think compLexity are okay with that trade.
Yep. And that tier 1 tower will belong to them. They still have YapzOr, who's now... Okay, YapzOr is dewarding the D-ward to block up the camp again.
That's important. They need the Sven to be relevant, and the clock is ticking.
Chessie, he's doing his own stack, and okay, YapzOr's just stealing creeps from inside the Dire jungle at the moment, trying to cause it so Chessie can't flash farm. So easy towers. There's no way they really want to initiate onto Limp, but I don't think that's also necessary at this point. Like, Era is under so much pressure, but Koif's getting so much in return that Escape will always feel comfortable with his trade-off.
That they will.
There's Relic.
Toby.
Lone Druid Bear has the Relic coming out to him right now. Can they actually take the tier 2?
You always try and pressure with the Spirit Bear and make, like, he's just so tanky
if
that you want him to...
YapzOr's going to hit this? Yeah, he hits this. There's a double damage rune on that Mirana as well, but in comes Limp, pushes the Chakram down, tries to make a little bit of space. KZU going to waft the stun as they do go straight onto the Lone Druid Bear.
He doesn't have
Bear doesn't have a resummon, but it's 25 seconds and he can have another one.
300 gold and 300 XP is a lot, though. They thought that would get a free kill, but yeah, Sven is tanky.
Well, they might still get one. KZU, they're looking for the kill over on Swindle, so he comes in. Spy Carapace to start with. YapzOr still has the arrow, but KZU needs to line up the stun. In comes your boulder from Z-Freak. He'll get the silence off, but then they just start their TPs. Nope. Leap. Now the TP will start from YapzOr. The Storm Bolt's going to be there, so it's a 2-for-1 trade-off. YapzOr, guys, somebody. Okay. The creep took the kill.
Not quick enough with the stuns coming out from Nyx. I think he wasted his Vendetta hit too. Like he didn't get the Vendetta hit.
I think he was also planning on not doing the Vendetta hit, like just starting with a straight Spike Carapace.
I think it would have been much quicker though. The kill took way too long because they got napalmed, and they had a turn to kill the Bat Rider. I think if you get the Vendetta damage, even if you have to turn, you still kill him in like maybe one and a half seconds earlier, and then you can just retreat out immediately. But not a bad kill for them. They're still creating space. Nyx still has a lot of reliable gold because of the Midas, although probably should have spent that gold before going for that gank. He's sitting around 1900. Let's see if Nyx Assassin will go for Blink Dagger number 2.
Yeah, reason to save that money if you're looking for a big item.
I think the Scepter would be better personally. Just I think it's much stronger in the team fight. They don't really need to get pickoffs right now because the Sven's like very difficult to kill with an Assassin because you don't do that much magical damage versus the Sven. Like Vendetta, physical damage, Impale is like minimal damage, and it's going to be difficult for you to hit like, Spike Carapace on him. So like I don't think that they can kill him even with like let's say a Mirana. It's going to be very, very difficult. Sven's not.
Swindles.
KZU
was hunting the fire trail. And, well, he kind of knows there's more around there thanks to the Observer Ward that got on top of the Secret Shop.
He has to be worried, though, of the Sentry Wards. And he knows they have Sentry Wards because they dewarded the
camp.
block.
Well, Chessie, he's going to God Strength it. Now they know this is going on, and that means KZU, under the cover of smoke, they move forward. Era's only got a 1-level Omni Slash, so it's not going to be really that effective, especially when there's a Centaur also hovering around, but the Radiance is up. 17 minutes in, the Radiance Bear moves forward, gets an entangle over on Z-Freak. He has to boulder himself away to safety. The glimpse back Koifa into the storm. Maybe they can find the kill. Limp jumps back in, but that big stun arriving in from the Nyx Assassin. Have they got enough? They get through two. The Shallow Grave kept Koifa alive, and now Swindles isolated as well. compLexity will lose 4. All they wanted was an Ancient stack, and now they're going to get completely team wiped off the face of the earth. Z-Freak is gone. Koifa will finish up the stack, and they'll even probably take the tier 2 tower to boot.
And that's what happens when you ignore a Lone Druid for 17 minutes.
A 9.5k net worth Lone Druid after the fight.
That was some very nice micro by Koifa. He actually tried to roar off the... he tried to roar the the Earth Spirit as he was trying to roll out, and they just commit so much on him. Very timely grave coming out from Synderen. He heals him up, and as you mentioned, a great Burrow Strike coming out from Kezu, and they just get cleaned up after taking down with the Radiance damage.
Yeah, that was just a lot better execution as well from Escape. Now, we can actually go back live as Roshan being contested up by compLexity. Savage Roar going to send the Timbersaw away. Swindles just blinks himself in. Probably expecting Roshan to be a lot lower than he really is. Spine Carapace will stun him up. They know he's on the hill. And maybe with the Starfall, yep, the last star will fall on his head. Chessie comes in looking for the contest on Roshan. Kezu, the arrow, it's going to miss. He hits with a Vendetta. Spy Carapace stopping Limp in his tracks. And now with the Bear on the front lines, they're going to catch out more of compLexity. They boulder away. Roshan still needs to be completed. Koifa will resummon his band now while Yapsaw hunts the kill over towards Z-Freak. So Roshan down to 1,400, and now absolutely nothing left on him. The arrow from Yapsaw is going to find Z-Freak. The kick, the silence. Z-Freak can boulder himself away.
Did I get that right? He blinked into there as the Batrider?
Yep.
He has Firefly. Normally, what you see Batriders do around the pit, they fly around with Firefly. If Rosh is low, then they'll make their play. But he, as you mentioned, maybe expected the Roshan to be a lot earlier. I think they were just kind of still
he was probably thinking about the snatch. Like, if you do the calculation, last time we saw Roshan was at this life, maybe now I can go in. But yeah, you got a Batrider, you got Fish it, so you don't have to guess. Yeah. We'll just call it classic Swindles.
Just a Swindles bad.
Just a Swindles thing.
That's okay. It's similar to last game. There are a couple of heroes that are very good at dealing with a Batrider, Juggernaut, and Nyx, I think, in this game. Not as strong as the Slark and the Oracle from last game, but still something that always plagues your mind as you're going for these plays in the team fight. And Swindles getting stalked by Kezu yet again. No support inbound.
In fact, compLexity were looking for a kill up on top lane. That's why the Observer Ward got planted down by Hanskin. It was looking behind, but then he saw Era and realized that as a disruptor, he doesn't really do anything against Era. Chessie's also rapidly approaching that Blink Dagger of his, if that's his item of choice. With the Helm of the Dominator, maybe he goes more greedy kind of style. Oh, Swindles. Kezu just runs in, by Carapace, the arrow to boot. And Swindles will drop. Synderen with the kill secure, thanks to the Shadow Wave level 4. But they don't care about that right now. Move straight up, take the tier 2 tower. They tried to do this a while ago, and they'll finish it now.
They're trying to finish off the Bear in the bottom lane. It's a game of cat and mouse.
You'll spare up. Still lose the tier 2. And now he gets the recall up. They have a resummon anyways, they're not that concerned about it. But it's the extra hunting again. Hanskin was being hunted down by Yapsaw, but Limp bringing in the deeps. Hanskin will be able to TP himself away. Kezu was hunting alongside of Yapsaw there, trying to make the most out of their Vendetta movement. Don't just rely on getting that tier 2 tower from the top. Get a kill, move into another objective.
They have to fight 4v5 at this point, though, and they do have the Aegis on the Juggernaut, but I don't think you want to squander your lead by having a chain feed here, which seems a little bit risky with the threat of the glimpse.
Unless compLexity is just that scared that they don't even want to, like, you're just here for the tower, right?
There's no opening for them. They'd have to like drop a Static Storm onto Juggernaut, but you don't want to commit onto him because of the Aegis. No. And then the Bear has too much HP. So
don't fight, just take objective, and like compLexity, watch you do it.
You wait for them to mess up. Like you wait for like Nyx Assassin hit the tower, for example. That's a mistake that they could easily punish.
It's Escape not giving them the opportunity. In fact, they now start to rotate down to the bottom lane. It's the last remaining tier 2 tower.
Swindles was so scared that he popped the dust there. As he was popping up the hill. Like, he is feeling the threat of the Nyx.
That's the concern when it comes to the mindset of compLexity. compLexity have always been known, at least they're going to get the Bear on the top lane. Even if the arrow from Yapsaw barely misses Hanskin, that lone Druid Bear will be picked off. But compLexity are definitely a team of confidence. And if that confidence isn't there from their captain, I would be a little concerned for compLexity in the rest of this game. They need something to make it work for them. Like this one, you really want to see like the Darks here comboing with this event to make compLexity just like have something that they'll always be able to turn to, something they will focus on.
Yes, I agree there.
But it
that
just doesn't exist.
You need the confidence, but sometimes confidence is ill-founded, Toby.
Uh-huh. I was waiting for a fantastic example. Well, that's a good sentry ward. Limp sees KZU, but they can't bring him back.
Use your imagination, Toby.
I know exactly what's in your mind. I'm not going to say it.
How dare you?
Yeah,
How dare you?
You know, if Charlie was here, he would have said it.
How dare you use your imagination like that?
What do you want to do here? I'm sorry, I just want to be a little boy and have fun, all right? All right, so compLexity. Can they finally take out this tier 1 tower up on the top lane? Get a little bit of breathing room for their own jungle.
They're sweeping in on them. The Juggernaut's coming in from behind. Very bold and confident with his Aegis of the Immortal. It only lasts for about 15 more seconds, though.
He finds Hunskin. Jump forward. The storm very quick from Hunskin. Z-Freak will get the follow-up kick. Era, not a healthy man, but they're expecting a lot more behind Era. But it just wasn't there. So instead, compLexity get out. They do burn the Disruptor Static Storm, however, so that's now down for another 70 seconds. This may be an opportunity for Escape to maybe do some chip damage to the tier 3 tower without getting heavily punished.
Well, I might get all my predictions wrong this game.
Terrible. Terrible, Melini. KZU, middle lane, starting up on Chessie. Stuns there, needs a little bit of help, and there it is, the 5-second arrow from YapzOr.
Such a good combination.
Such a simple one, too, but with no Sven, like Sven does not want to expand his buyback at this point.
YapzOr has Ags.
Already?
Nixus has it. It's 250 gold away from Ags. This is bad.
Here's the jump. Omniside dwindles. He took every single one. Now the spin is wall from Era. He'll pick up Hunskin. The buyback comes out from Chessie, but you've already lost 2. Era in deep. Does not have the Aegis Immortal, but he's got the Shallow Grave. The saving grace from Synderen. Where's that Shadow Wave? There it is. The heal is there. You'll still bring down Era. But you've lost 2, you bought back 1. The Lone Draw Bear still on the front lines, but Synderen, he'll go down with the team, but you've got the melee racks for a buyback and 2-for-2 trade. You've got to be happy if you're Escape. That's 25 minutes in with your Lone Druid lineup.
And multiple Ags to deal with. And they aren't... The Disruptor is one of the ones in the grave, so you don't even get +1s with the Glimpse. KZU, perhaps thinking about a turnaround on the Timbersaw. He does not have that much HP when you consider all the Starstorm's damage. KZU, how's he going to set up on Limp?
He needs to find that first little stun if possible, and despite Carapace, will let him do it off the back of the returning Chakram. There's your arrow, perfect on Limp. And this is looking almost too easy. Like, KZU Spike Carapace more reliable than Impale. As Koifa, lassoed, stormed up, a 3-man gank over on that Lone Druid. He's pretty tanky, but he's not that tanky. Will go down, and his death timer will be the exact same time as his resummon on the bear. So he will not buy it back.
It's a lot of gold going the way of Swindle Melons, though. 800. That's a lot of his net worth, actually.
I wonder what he does with it, though. I guess this is a game where you almost try and create a little bit more space, go BTs, and start split pushing with the Bat Rider. I don't think you could really do that, actually, with a Nyx Assassin on the field. He's now being hunted down by YapzOr. The arrow is going to miss, but the Aghanim Scepter, there's more than enough damage from YapzOr to go around. Maybe with the stun over on Synderen, a nice little freebie for compLexity, but nope. The spin, in fact, of Era, forcing Z-Freak to boulder away, and that was God's Strength being committed.
Let's see what the Roshan respawn's going to be. We'll see in about 5 seconds' time. And what is Quickbook on for? Looks like the AC, I think, after the Radiance. We see him go for Vlads pretty often. They don't have a Vlads carry on their team, would certainly help for the push, but I think defense is okay for them because they have the Nyx and the Mirana for just incredible amounts of damage, even aside from their 2 cores. So very short respawn.
Yeah, really, really short. With that fresh Vlad's arriving too, yeah, it's a very happy time for a Lone Druid. And KZU's going to be right on top of Roshan when he spawns.
I think maybe just need a pipe to round things out for them on the Escape side. And maybe Timbersaw's building one himself to deal with this Mirana Axe. And like even a tanky hero like Sven is going to fall to this amount of magic damage.
YapzOr is currently the Night Watchman.
Okay, Swindles, it's your time to make a play. Bat Rider on the pit.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
I think you have to go for it.
You've got Swindles who's been so paranoid. He's looking over his shoulder at a movement of air, like a stiff breeze. He's like, I think Nyx Assassin just moved behind me, everybody. He's not going out. And then you had YapzOr on the hillside with a fresh... Actually, he bought the gem, but it's being held on to by KheZu. So yeah, there's no way for them to get in close. This compLexity lineup is just going to have to defend perfectly from inside their base. A fresh BKB up from Chessie. So blink BKB and just go ham.
Tower already at 25% though. They're going to have to do something soon.
As the arrow, it hits on Limp. He was trying to chain himself away. The Omni Slash. Limp with the Starfall as well. They have the damage from the Mirana moving up into Hanskin. The extra stunts there. And Swindles, the lasso. They control up YapzOr for now, but it won't stop the Mirana Aghanims from still getting the kill. He's lasso, but he still finds the damage. Swindles on the sideline, helping Chessie to find that kill. But YapzOr inside the storm. Escape. They're actually losing a couple of heroes, but again, this push. They lose 2, but they take now the full lane of Rax.
They do have the
Oh, they're going back in again. Era, crit, he found it. He's got Z-Freak standing in front of him with the Aegis Immortal from Era. He's got a license to live again, which he may have to use. There's still the Shallow Grave available from Synderen if he tries to escape out this one, and that's exactly what he'll do. No stuns. Synderen, oh, okay, nope, there's one. Z-Freak. He had the kick available, so Synderen will die.
And in the meantime, Koikva gets another 75% on the mid tower and barely dodges the
Swindles.
blink stun from Z-Freak.
Where's the Entangle? The Entangle into Swindle's death. Koikva's on the run, so the Radiance is burning him down.
Now the Urn taking him down. Now the Yols.
They want to fight this? Yep. Era jumps in the back lines. He's going to catch out Z-Freak with that spin, find the kill, back up in the lane, and the bear gets the Entangle over on Chessie. Era can just start attacking in, look for the crits, look for the damage. They just want one other Entangle, and Chessie will die here. He can't find it straight away. In fact, Limp will just rip apart the bear, and Era blinks forward, gets the first crit, then the follow-up damage. Swindles can't escape. A triple kill for him, plus the Entangle. Give that man an Ultra, and that's exactly what they'll do. compLexity losing 2 men. It may even be a rampage. Era's going ham. Remember, he's still immortal. He's still got that Aegis up. And with the help of KheZu, where's the stun? The Spike Carapace to get the mana burn. Is there a range for the stun? Well, he goes into the ulti, barely missing Z-Freak. He'll get back into the well, but this game, it really is over. You've taken out every single lane of Rax. The creep wave took care of the top. The megas are up. compLexity will be forced into a 3rd game against Escape.
Koikva just lured them into the waiting jaws of Era and the lone Druid Bear, and that is the GG. Well played. I thought that compLexity had a better plan to manage the lone Druid first phase pick from Escape, but a little bit of a underwhelming performance from compLexity all around, especially when you look at game number 1.
And that is just... I'm looking forward to game number 3 to see how compLexity pull themselves back up. But it's nice to see Escape playing the Dota, which we thought they were going to. Escape were a team that had a little bit of trouble during the qualifiers. They ended up going through in 3rd, hence they found themselves in this wildcard. But a lot of people before the qualifiers would have also given Escape like a good chance